All right, okay. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube and of TikTok? Stephen Ryan Podcast back for another video. We are going to be here getting some debates going and stuff like that, all that good stuff. I have just given two other mod ships. David, I know that you're not going to abuse it because, you know, it's just, I mean, like, it's like, basically, it's just kind of symbolic at this stage. You know, like, I know that you're not going to be here, you know, out here fucking like kicking and banning people for me. I understand that it is just purely symbolic. Scott Ryan, I can see absolutely everything that you are doing. So, you know, like, I'm not saying, like, it's just, look, you abuse the power is taken away from you, okay? What's given can be taken away. But I don't think that that's going to happen because you have been here almost every single live and you do contribute a good lot. So, yeah, I don't think that you're going to do that. Okay, so do we have... you're on TikTok as well, but when it's started, but now here, yeah, that's totally fine. You wouldn't dream of abusing the power. Well, look, at that is definitely good. That's definitely preferable. I do have someone requesting to go live. We are going to get to you now in just 2 moments. I'm just going to go quickly over some of the comments that have popped in at the moment. David says thanks, not a bother at all. Chuck says the progressive left already ruined the US. Trump is fixing it. There has never been a progressive left candidate this century, so I do not even, and I mean candidate for no, sorry, candidate, yes, because obviously we had Bernie, but there has never been a progressive left president this century, so I don't actually know how that's even possible, to be fair. You wouldn't dream of abusing the power. Good man. All trolls will be banned. Yeah, and look, I mean, like, essentially at this point, at this kind of early stage of the thing, I mean, like, that's kind of like definitely what we're kind of here for. Where am I from? I'm from Ireland. If the accent was not giving it away already. All trolls will be banned. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Already at 1,000 likes. We're on fire, dude. We're almost at 2,000 likes. I just want to point that out. We are just after hitting 2,000 likes. So fantastic. I mean, like, county, I'm not about to dox myself, my dude. Sorry, no, not about to do that there for you. So yeah, we'll just leave it at Ireland for now. So 10,000 is the goal. Hey, listen, it's a good goal. It's an achievable goal. We're almost a third the way there, right? So, all right, okay. Let's start with the first guest, and the first person that I seen popping up was Sam the Official. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
My name's James Farrell. I'm 18, and my pronouns are he/him.
Okay. What do you disagree with on the board?
I disagree with, like, trans men and women are men and women because
okay,
I just don't think that they are.
Okay, why?
Because I think that's kind of like something made up to suit like societal standards in recent decades. It hasn't been a thing since the beginning of time. Well, not that that would make it good or bad, but I feel like to have like kind of a sense of legitimacy, it should have been a thing for at least a few hundred years, but it just hasn't been.
Okay, so the earliest recordings of trans people are from about 400 BC. So the idea that this is a new phenomenon is just flat and completely and utterly wrong. It's actually older than Christianity, if you want to go by that rule.
One sec, let me search this up. How old? Or no, well, I searched up when was the first trans person. See, according to Wikipedia, I know obviously it's not the best source. This is
sure.
Well, in the 1970s, wait, do you want me to put this camera on so you can see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you can if you want to. According to my end, though, you don't have camera privileges, but if you can, sure.
No, never mind. It's not that. But it says, this is just said transgender history on the Wikipedia. You can search it up, I suppose, yourself. It says accounts of transgender. This is the first paragraph. Accounts of transgender people, including non-binary and third gender people, have been uncertainly identified, going back to ancient times and in cultures worldwide. The modern terms and meanings of transgender only emerged in the 1950s and 60s. So, I suppose maybe
Well,
in
yeah,
prehistory it could have been a thing, but obviously we wouldn't know because it's prehistory. But it says kind of here it kind of really became a thing in the 1950s and 60s.
well, no, it didn't. It said that it has been a thing since, like that it was present in ancient civilizations. I mean, you just read that out. I'm
Well, it
not
says
reading anything.
uncertainly.
You read that out.
Yeah, I know.
Um, but like, yeah, look, but I mean, even if it was only from the kind of 50s and 60s, I mean, like, I wouldn't exactly, if there was somebody who, like, I met on the street, just for example, who told me that they were born in the 50s, I wouldn't exactly call them sprightly. So I don't really,
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
it's,
But as in,
it's definitely not new.
yeah, I know it's not new, as in, but in the modern, well, it's kind of become, as in the modern, or in history, there might have been a few kind of, but like it wouldn't have been real normalized. But now you go around and you'd see them nearly on a day-to-day basis, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure, probably
Well,
do.
I suppose that doesn't. I'm straying away from the topic of. I don't think that they are that gender, because I just don't. I think that, like, when you're born with male genitals, that you are male, and when you're born, or the chromosomes, what's it, XX and XY chromosomes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just the way it should be, and I don't think that people should want to change that. To be honest.
Right. Okay. So are people who don't have XX chromosomes, are they women?
People that don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose if there's except if there's a really, really rare case, but I'm actually not sure if there is. I would say no.
So no, somebody who has XX chromosomes is not a woman.
No. Do you want to correct me on that? Hello?
I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
Have I mixed it up between the XY and the XX
You are up here
chromosomes?
having a debate with me on gender and about who is and isn't a woman, and you just told me that someone who was born with XX chromosomes is not a woman. I mean,
I meant
like,
the other way
I don't even know
around.
what to...
I'm sorry, Steve. I meant the other way around. It was just that I'm getting nervous up here because there's 30 people watching me right now.
All right, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, like, that is definitely fine. Yeah, okay. So if you have somebody who is born with, say, female genitalia who has XXX chromosomes or XXY or XYX, would you count them as a female? Would you count them as a woman? Actually, sorry, is what I meant to say.
I suppose I'm not thinking of the extreme rare cases here. I'm thinking of mainly the average person born, average, and they just want to just decide later in their life, okay, I want to become a man, or I want to become a woman. I just don't think that should be. I don't think that they are once they transition. It doesn't matter if they have genital surgery, whatever, to get it away or whatever.
Well, I mean, it's not even necessarily about kind of like the exceptions. If you said that the only people who should fall into the category of woman is someone who was born with XX chromosomes, then you are by definition excluding all of the, albeit rare, but still, valid exceptions. So is it the case then that, there are exceptions to the XX chromosome rule?
Yeah,
and if
I suppose,
there
that's what I'm
well,
saying.
okay.
There are some very rare. I'm sure
Okay.
they're rare. Well, I'm not
somebody
100%
who
sure on that.
is so somebody who is a woman, then it's not based on their chromosomes. So what would it be based on?
I would say genitalia, coinciding with their chromosomes.
Okay, so somebody who was born without a uterus, are they a woman?
Well, it depends if they have what chromosomes they have.
say they have XX.
Well, then I'd say
there are like obviously cases of people who have been
yeah,
born
no,
with XX
yeah, no.
chromosomes
What
who
I
are
was saying
also
was
born without a uterus. So
I was saying kind of what I'm trying to say is I'm not going down to the extreme specific. I mean, I get that it might be one of your main kind of points in the debate, but I mean, I'm trying to say in a broad kind of term, if you're trying to transition, I don't think it's good. I don't think you are. If you're male, I don't think you are female once you decide to do something to alter your appearance or your identification or whatever. But
oh well, I agree
I
with you
do.
there completely. Yeah, I mean you cannot change your chromosomes, you cannot change your sex. You can absolutely change
Uh-huh.
your gender though.
Well, yeah, I do actually. One thing I do agree with, kind of the what I'm gonna call it, quote unquote woke culture. I do agree there's loads of genders, and I feel like that people should be able to express their gender, just like you express your bald headed smegma head. You big bald headed smegma head. Fuck you, you bald headed.
All right, mods, you're up. Ban 'em. Hello, David. What is your age? What is your name, age, and pronouns?
Hey, how's it going? 36 male.
36. I know you're not 36. What are you talking about?
Only messing. Sorry,
What's
I
up?
didn't even meant to. I didn't even meant to join that. Sorry, Stephen. How
You're
do I get
fine.
off this fucking thing?
I'll disconnect you. You're fine. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, mate.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. How
Hey,
you
but
doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
name, age, and pronouns.
Yep.
BJ, 30, male. He, him.
Okay. What do you disagree with on the board?
Um, the Trump will ruin America. I'm not really going to get into a debate about that fully because I don't know enough about that, but I don't think that's fair to say. Elon Dundas salute. I agree with you there. The
Okay.
trans, I don't agree with the trans one. Pro-choice, I can probably agree with you there. MAGA, uneducated, I can't agree with you there, man. And is there one below that one?
No. It just says
Okay, cool.
debate me.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I couldn't see that's blocked off. Yeah, MAGA uneducated. First, I wouldn't agree with that because I don't think that's fair enough of a statement to make because on both sides, it's going to be some educated and uneducated people. So I think that's a really unfair statement to make. And I wouldn't be able to tell you that definitely one side is more intelligent than the other. But the one I'd really want to debate you on is probably the trans one. Is that okay?
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, that is definitely fine. I do kind of want to stick on to MAGA is uneducated just for a moment, even.
Sure.
I mean, like, okay, so if you were to ask the average MAGA voter who won the last election, not the one just now, but back in 2020, who do you think that they would say?
I would hope that the intelligence ones would just say Biden won it and keep it moving. But obviously, you're going to get the extremists, and they're just probably.
They're
I'm never going to say.
not the extremists. Not the
I'm not going to
extremists.
tell you.
The
It's not going to be
vast
all of them.
majority of MAGA voters believe that Trump won the last election, and also they're the same people who are now championing him to run again in 2028, which he's not even which he's not even constitutionally allowed to do. So
I understand that, but I don't think you can do that, man. I think what you're doing is you're taking hand at the bottom of the barrel, and using them as an example for the whole population. Because for me personally, I would not even say I'm a MAGA supporter. I would say I would say I changed over the years. I used to be like really against Trump, and then recently, maybe just this past election. Obviously, I'm Irish. You're Irish as well, so we don't really have like a strong of a stick in the puddle because we're not actually voting. But I'd say now I've kind of leaned towards him, and I'm kind of more seeing some of the good that he's doing, especially since he's been in office.
okay, yeah, no, look, I mean, you kind of said that you weren't really wanting to talk about the
Yeah.
Trump thing, yeah. So I mean, like, okay, so You disagree with me on trans men and women are men and women. Why?
I think whatever you're born with is what you're born with. Like and if you do decide to change, you can change, but I don't think you should. I don't think it kind of constitute now. If you are a trans woman, I don't think that constitutes you to be a woman. I give you an example. I don't know you at all. I'm gonna ask, are you straight or are you not straight? If you don't mind me asking.
Not.
Sorry?
Not straight.
Oh, you're not straight. Okay, fair
No.
enough.
I'm
Okay, fair enough. Fair
pansexual.
enough. Okay. Um. Okay, I say me as I would consider myself a straight man, and I would say the majority of straight men wouldn't want to date a trans,
Okay.
even if they had all the reproductive surgeries, because we still would
Okay.
view them as you
I
were born.
I I don't care. That's still like that has nothing to do with them not being women.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but I say if you do get change, if you do change, I don't think it should constitute as okay. You can automatically change your gender just because you decide to.
Okay, but I mean, like, this is also something that you said that, like, you had started off by saying that you're born with what you're born with, and just because you can change doesn't mean you should. Well, you're either born with what you're born with, or you can change.
Obviously, you can remove and you can. There's the awareness of society now that you can get certain surgeries to kind of change it, but it doesn't still constitute you to be a full-blooded woman. You're still a man just dressed as a woman. Does that make sense? You're
Well,
still just a man.
no, you're still biologically male, who
Yeah.
is now choosing to phenotypically express as a woman. That does not have anything to do with whether or not they are women. The only people who are women are people who would like call them women. I mean, like women and men are gendered terms. Like gender is something that we as a society invented. So like you can absolutely like of course you can change it. What a woman was 50 years ago is completely and utterly different to what a woman was now. I'm sure if she like just kind of I mean, and I did like this is for you and it's for everybody in the audience as well. Depending on your age, if you were to ask your mothers or your grandmothers what would like a woman's place in society was when they were say young or when they were a teenager, it's going to be completely and utterly different if you were to ask say your partner or your friends or anything else like that. It's going to be a completely different answer that they're going to give you. So what is a woman and what like roles within society, they change over time. So I mean like it's just completely erroneous to say that you cannot like change your role within society or where you fit into them.
Okay, you can definitely change your role in society. You can definitely. I think the mix up that people are having there. You can definitely change your role, and whatever role you want to put yourself in, that's completely down to you, and that's fair enough. It'd be crazy for me to argue that. However, the term the term woman, I would say, comes down to your genotype and the organs you were born with and the organs that are actually fully functioning. So if you were born a man, you decide to become a trans woman, I think you're just a trans woman. You're not a woman. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, like, well, yeah, sure, but I mean, like, trans woman would be just a different type of woman. There are all different types of women. There are tall women and short women and big women and small women and blonde women and red-headed women and big boobied women and small boobied women, and there are
If that, if
trans
that's
women and there are brunette women and there are I mean, like, there are Asian women, there are black women, there are white women, there are all different types of women.
Yeah, I know all of them are women, but I think a trans woman's the least form of being a woman. You can, if you're gonna say it's just a social
But
construct, you're gonna leave it
it's
as a.
just a different type of woman. In the same
I
sense
don't.
as that, like, if I was to ask you, right, to like define in detail what is a woman, like paint me a picture. If
Like
you were
that.
to say at any point in that description that oh well, like she has blonde hair, this is the person that I am picturing. If I now go out and find you a brunette woman, is she a woman? Based on the
No, 'cause I
definition that
wouldn't.
you've given me, well, no. So there are obviously different types of women.
Yeah, per se, but I think a woman has to have, and I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, okay, how about women that don't have reproduction, um, reproduction capabilities, are they not women? And I would definitely say that if they were born with the sex of a woman and they were born with the chromosome of a woman, then they still are women, and that's a really strong minority of an overall societal group of people. So it's like if we're talking about a million people, you're talking about the 0.01% of that million of people. So, which I don't think that's really relevant. But if we're going to talk about the average woman, I think the average woman would be born with an XX chromosome and would be born with the reproduction capability of a woman. And even if they're functioning or
Yeah,
not
sure,
functioning,
but not every woman is.
exactly. But that's the
Not
thing.
even
We're talking
everybody
about the
that you
average.
would put into the category of woman is born with
That's
those
why I said we're talking
capabilities.
about average.
Right. So the point is, if you're saying, well, a woman is somebody who fits these neat little kind of boxes, right? But sometimes if they're born
They
with,
don't,
but they
yeah.
just they don't have a uterus, or they're not able to have kids or anything. Well, that's unfortunate, but I'd still put them into the category of woman. Then why are you stopping at trans women? You're
Because the
creating
trans-
all of these neat little boxes, but then you're making exceptions for other people, but you're just not making the same type of exception for a trans woman. So why?
Okay, can I ask you what would constitute a trans woman? Like if you decide to, like, if I, as I am now, like a straight black male, if I was to say that, you know what, I want to be a trans woman, can I just be a trans woman tomorrow, or is there certain steps I need to take in order to consider myself a woman?
Yeah, of course there would be certain steps that you would need to
So
take.
what the category? What do I need to do before I can fully consider myself a woman? Can I not just wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I want to be a woman today? Or do I need to? What step do you think I need to go through to be able to fully construct myself and say I'm an honest woman?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, like you would need to do things like you would need to kind of change your dress sense to more kind of typically align with
So
the
now, are you
phenotypic
saying?
expressions
Sorry,
of the female
sorry to
sex.
cut
You
you.
would
Sorry to cut
like,
you real quick. Sorry to cut you. Sorry, with all due respect, are you trying to say that now a woman is how they dress, or like if I want to say I'm a woman, but I still want to dress to how I dress because women are
right.
allowed to dress in
So
all clothes?
you asked me to describe what they would need to do. I gave you exactly one example, and then you cut me off and said, "Really,
Okay,
that's the
fair enough,
only
fair
thing
enough, fair
that they
enough.
need to do? Really?
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
That's
Sorry.
what we're
No,
doing right
sorry,
now?
sorry. No, I don't want to do that. Continue.
Okay.
I
So
actually want to have an honest conversation, but continue, yeah.
okay, that's very nice of you to allow me to continue on my life. They would need to do things like, as I had said, change their kind of phenotypic expressions. They would need to, I mean, like it just kind of depends on how kind of far into life they were. If they had any if they had any class of kind of facial hair, they would, typically need to kind of shave it off, and to like express as a female, they would need to kind of grow their hair out. They would need to kind of do all of the things that would kind of more closely align them with the kind of, if you were walking down the street and out of the corner of your eye, you just gotta blink and you'll miss a kind of glance at someone that you wouldn't immediately think to yourself, that's a man.
Okay.
We would be changing that kind of expression so that if you were to do that exact thing, you would say that's a woman.
Okay, to argue that, like, I don't think it would be fair to say I need to dress any certain way or I need to cut my hair any certain way. Because I don't think women need to do that. So I think, like, that's the point I'm trying to make, is that there's not really a point that you can kind of say, or in my opinion anyways, I don't think there's a point that you can kind of say, okay, now you're a woman or now you're not a woman. So I think it's either you're born a woman and you are a woman, or you're not a woman, simple as. Like, I don't think, because like and that's where it can get misconstrued, because now if I say, okay, cool, I want to become a woman tomorrow, and if I don't want to cut my hair, or I don't want to, because there's women out there with long hair, there's certain women out there with a certain level of facial hair.
Yeah,
So if
there
I say I
are
don't want,
long-haired women and there are short-haired women. Yeah.
so I don't. So if I say to you, okay, I want to be a woman and I don't want to cut my hair, I want to dress the same way I'm dressing now. I just want to become a woman, and I don't want to do any of the external factors to make it look like I'm a woman. Would you still consider me a woman because that's how I want to be perceived, or am I still a woman because that's how I want to be perceived, or do I need to take them steps in order to be a woman?
Sure.
Sorry.
Well, like, yeah, sure, I would still, yes, you asked if I would still consider you a woman. Yes.
Okay, now,
There are some women
okay,
who have like naturally deep, like, you know, deeper
voices, yeah.
voices. There are like women who have been smoking for 20 years that have a deeper voice. Simply just because you don't have a high pitched voice doesn't mean that you're not a woman.
Certainly. How would you consider now? Would you allow me to go and enter women's sport?
Yeah, I mean, like, women's sport is a little bit kind of tricky. I would, it would have to be in a case, and I mean, like, this is why I'm kind of advocating for this as well. When you have somebody who goes on to puberty blockers at a young enough age, right, and then starts to take HRT and only goes through their preferred method of puberty, right? We have had people who have done that, and when we test them then based on like their hormone levels and their like kind of you know, all of these sorts of things, right, all of these sorts of tests, there is within the margin of error of them basically being on par with cisgendered women. So in that instance, yes. Now the question obviously then remains of, well, I mean, like, what do you do with every single trans athlete now who hasn't done that, who still wants to compete in sports? Honestly, I don't know. That's as
Okay.
straight up an answer as I can give you. I don't know, because it's kind of like a damned if you do and damned if you don't. There are going to be people who are going to get pissed off at me if I say that, you know, no, let trans people as they are now, even if they have kind of gone through like the entirety of male puberty to go into sports. There are going to be people who are going to be pissed at me at that, and there are going to be people who are going to be pissed if I say no, they shouldn't be allowed to. So I mean, my own personal thing, I don't know. I have no clue.
Okay, I have another question for you now. I don't know if you heard the situation with a lady that started an all-female gym in London, and then she said that originally she said that she was inclusive of trans women, and then after when the gym has been close to really being open, she said that trans women are not more welcome in the gym. Did you hear about that story?
No.
Okay, okay. I'll give you the synopsis then. Basically, there's this woman that wanted to open an all-female gym in London, and then let's say 4 years ago, when she initially had the idea, she said that all women are welcome, trans women, cis women, all women are welcome in the gym. Now the gyms, let's say the gym's a month away from being open. She got all the funding, she got everything necessary to open the gym. She ended up coming on live and saying, actually, through thinking and through analysis, she decided that trans women are no more like, I don't want to say welcome, but they're not included on in the list of people that would be accepted in the gym now. What would you say to that?
I
Should
mean,
she allow trans women in there because women are women, or should she say, okay, should only be for cisgendered women?
I personally would say yes, but you know, I mean, like, it's
Personally, would say yes.
there's one argument that's going to be you know, well, it's a private business, so she's allowed to do what she wants. But then there's another argument that's going to be, well, I mean, if you're public, like, you know, I mean, like, being trans is a protected class now. So if you're kind of specifically wanting to exclude a marginalized group of people, well, you, my dear, have a lawsuit on your hands. I don't know.
Because then that goes down to the same
I
thing
don't.
of saying,
It's not that I. It's not that I don't want to kind of deal with anecdotes, but like it's just, I mean, like, they are anecdotes for a reason, right? Like, I would have to be kind of familiar with the case that you're talking about
yeah,
for
you
me to
can check
kind
it
of.
up online. And whenever you have time, just have a look. Just type in that thing into Google, and it'll come up eventually. It's big. It's big, and it's big right now. It's even on the news. It was in the UK news yesterday or the day before yesterday as well. But like the reason I say that is because, let's say she did say, okay, cool, trans women are welcome in the gym, like you said, the marginalized group. And then me, I just decided, like, you know what, actually, I want to go to that gym, so I'm going to identify as a woman to give myself the ability to go to that gym. I would say that would be wrong. So I think it would be in her best interest to say, okay, no, it's only for cisgendered individuals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, that's your kind of that's your personal opinion. You think that they should only be for cis people?
Yeah,
It's your personal opinion.
yeah. But okay, I'm gonna let you go. I appreciate the conversation. It was an honest, nice conversation with all due respect. So I'll let you go
problem at
now.
all, man.
Enjoy the rest of your life.
All right, thanks again, man.
No problem.
How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
I have a bone to pick with you.
What's your name, age, and pronouns?
My full legal name is Fionn Thomas Quilter. And my pronouns are he, him.
Okay.
Yeah, how could anyone say that Trump is bad for the US?
Yeah, my troll radar is like fucking binging massively, so you're either gonna need to calm down and start just talking, or you know. Cut the shtick. Are you actually here for an honest conversation or not?
Yeah, I just don't see how anyone could say that Trump is bad for the US, honestly.
Okay, so you've now just completely abandoned the shtick. Are you willing to admit that you were on here trolling for the first couple of seconds? Okay, I cannot hear a fucking word that you were saying, but I did hear the first word that you were saying was yes. So, have a good night, man. Fuck. I'm sorry, Charlie. I'm going. I did not actually mean to hit on you. I will be right back with you because
On me?
this other person has
Dude,
been.
I've been waiting longer than Charlie.
That's what I was just about to say. I had addressed Charlie. So I'm going to bring you down, Charlie. You can request to come back up. And as soon as I am finished then with this other person, then I will bring you back up. It's just like list. It sometimes changes when I kick someone. So that is the only reason why, Charlie, I'm gonna, if you just ask now to come back up and we'll get to you next. Okay, so what's your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Gloomy. I'm 21 years old. He, him.
Okay, what do you disagree with on the board?
I disagree with like the first one, the third one. I know Elon did do that salute. I'm totally fine with it. Pro-choice, uneducated. I myself am not uneducated. So
Are you MAGA? Did you vote for Trump?
I voted for Trump in 2020, but this year I wasn't able to vote. I wasn't in the country, but I do believe that Donald Trump was the better choice of the two.
Okay, why?
For starters, I mean, Trump has a way more Keynesian understanding of economics than Kamala Harris, and Keynesian economics has been proven to lift, countries out of recession.
Right. Okay. What was the period in U.S. history that had the most amount of economic growth?
World War II production and post-World War II production, and that was a huge part of Keynesian economics. I mean, FDR understood that we needed to pump money from the federal government into the economy, and that's the only way that we could have gotten it out. And this person in the comments,
Right,
Ashland, the stock market is crashing because we're pulling money out, and investors
okay, you
aren't happy.
Hey. You are not debating the comment section. You are debating me. Okay, so just
Yeah, my bad.
So I can't understand how Trump is employing Keynesian economics, considering that he is wanting to cut the top marginal tax rate for millionaires and billionaires, whereas in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, the top marginal tax rate for anybody who was earning, I think it was more than $400,000 a year, was 90%. So I don't understand how given that was the system that you have described as Keynesian economics, I cannot understand how you are now saying that Donald Trump is also following that theory.
Yeah, well, first off, like Keynesian economics revolves around tax cuts. Donald Trump's tax cuts in 2017 were really good for the middle class, and they gave the middle class more spending power.
Well, if Keynesian
empowering the
economics
consumer
revolves
base,
around tax cuts, then it was not Keynesian economics that was in practice.
it's tax
post-World
cuts,
War
government
II.
intervention, deficit spending.
Right, but if Keynesian economics, if even a part of it is about tax cuts, then the great expansion of the U.S. economy post World War II was not operating under Keynesian economics, because I've just told you that the top marginal tax rate was 90%. That's not a tax cut. That's a massive tax increase. Massive tax increase. You think your taxes are high now? The rich think that their taxes are high now. What is it? 35% now, I think it is, and Trump is even wanting to lower it past that. It was at 90. It was 3 times that. So
They were Keynesian in World War II. They had massive government spending. That was a huge part of it. That's a huge part of Keynesian economics, is massive government spending and intervention in the economy to stimulate aggregate demand.
Did you or did you not say that a part of Keynesian economics was tax cuts?
It's a part of it, absolutely, but it's not
Okay.
all of it. A
So
large
how
part
can
of it
you
is tax
reconcile-
cuts.
So how can you reconcile the fact that tax cuts is a part of Keynesian economics, and yet after post World War II, the top marginal tax rate on ultra wealthy people was 90% taxes, tax rate. Jesus fuck.
Sorry, that was
How can you reconcile those two?
reconciled the two of tax cuts and
And
larger government
massive
spending.
tax expansion.
Well, like I said, I don't believe that massive tax expansion is the answer when it comes. I don't agree completely. I don't subscribe completely to Keynesian economics. If anything, you could call me more socialist in the matter. But I do understand that when it comes to this type of aggregate demand and what you need to stimulate in an economy, you need to put massive amounts of government intervention. You need to stimulate the economy by getting the middle class to spend money. That starts with tax cuts, putting more money into people's pockets.
Sure.
That's Keynesian.
Right, but I mean, like, what does giving tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires, how does that stimulate the economy?
I don't believe in that. I don't agree with that, and I don't agree with Trump doing that. I don't agree with the corporate tax rate cut. I don't agree with the larger 1% tax rate cut.
But it's one of the things that you brought up as to why Trump was a better candidate. So how can you
Because
say
Trump
that he's
in
a better
2017
candidate when that's
also
what he was wanting
benefited
to
the
do?
middle class. The middle class had the largest tax cut in history under Donald Trump in 2017.
Sure, they did.
It
yeah,
may have also
temporary one.
benefited. It also may have benefited the 1%, but that doesn't take away. Like, it feels like you're a chicken or the egg situation. Like, well, it also did this while simultaneously doing this. I don't agree with the tax cut that was made for
the tax cut for
larger income earners.
Yeah,
but it was
okay,
also
so
a good
the
tax
tax
cut for lower income earners.
The tax cut for lower income earners and for middle class earners, they were temporary, whereas the tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires, they were permanent. So
Yeah, and I don't agree with that, like I said.
Right, but it was Trump's tax policy. So why do you think that he was the better candidate, considering that it was Trump's tax policy that made the temporary tax cuts for middle and for lower income earners? But you still think that, so even after everything that Kamala said that she was going to do on economics and on her tax plan and her tax policies and everything else, you heard all of those, I presume. How did you hear what her tax plan was and what Trump's tax plan was, and still say that Trump was the better candidate?
For one, Trump had in the 2017 plan a child tax credit, which was a huge game changer for the middle class. That wasn't something that was specifically outlined for Kamala.
The child tax credit that he had, it went from $1,000 to $2,000. I'm not taking that away from him. That was
with a $1,400 refundable.
That was a good thing. But Kamala was going to do up to $6,000 in the first. I think it was 3. I'm not 100% sure because like fucking election was like 4 months ago. I'm not but I think it was for the first, like even just say 2. So Trump took it from $1,000 to $2,000 of a child tax credit, and you think that was a good thing. And Kamala said that she was going to triple that from $2,000 to $6,000, and you still think that Trump was the better candidate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that when you're raising it from $1,000 to $2,000, that's with a $1,400 refundable. Let's say we have a middle class family with 2 kids. Let's say the middle class family earns $80,000 a year. That's $4,000 off their tax bill, and that's a dwarfing what was previously like a $930 cut. And 40% of households have kids under 18 in the United States. Millionaires don't have like the same type of, I guess, population in the United States that the middle class does. So this guy, sorry, I was looking at the chat.
So you are saying that even though Trump previously took the child tax credit from $1,000 to $2,000, and you looked at Kamala's plan of raising that to $6,000, you still think that Trump was the better candidate?
I mean, Harris didn't even fully outline her.
I mean,
her tax plan.
she absolutely did. Maybe you just weren't looking for.
I was.
Enough,
I'm a JD candidate, so you're not being honest.
Well,
Did I say
no, I'm sorry.
you
can't claim that you're being honest if you said that Kamala didn't fully lay out her tax plan, and like you cannot claim that you were being honest and then claim that she didn't lay it out, because she absolutely did. It was on her website. I read it.
It was
at
a
the
copy
time
and paste
on
of Joe
stream.
Biden's.
Well, no, it wasn't, because if it was, then that's
was.
exactly what would have happened under
Dude,
Joe,
it was
Joe
riddled
Biden,
with Joe
but it
Biden's
didn't.
name in it. That's the crazy part.
Okay.
I didn't use a slur. When did I say a slur?
Stop looking at the fucking live chat, my dude.
I'm just
Stop
confused.
looking at the
Well,
live
they're
chat.
talking to you.
What slur was it?
Yeah, I didn't use
Someone
one. That's
say
the
this.
craziest part.
Yeah, just hang on. What slur was it?
Sorry.
We'll give him a second to type it.
Bro, they're totally gaslighting you.
You're saying the F word?
I also like have a huge. I didn't say that. No, dude.
Someone saying
I also really
hardcore
disagree.
F words.
They're saying I said F @GG OT. I didn't say that.
No, you didn't say that. I didn't hear you saying that. If I did hear you saying that, that would have been an automatic ban. So no, I did not hear you saying that. Anyway. Kamala's tax plan was on her website, so you could have gone there and you could have looked at it. So I mean, if you're saying that you didn't know what it was, or it wasn't fully fleshed out, I mean, I'm sorry, mate, but that's kind of just like, that's on you. I went over it on stream when she released it, so I mean, it was there. I looked at it myself. Also, I think just the idea that you have agreed with me about the child tax credit policy from Trump and from Kamala, and still saying that Kamala was the better candidate. I mean, I'm sorry, mate. You're proving my fifth point. Like,
I mean, there were other
you're
things
proving
that.
it right
first
now.
off, you're calling me uneducated.
You looked at both of the tax plans, and still we both agreed that
It was more than tax plans.
increase
Why I think Trump is better. But.
Well, I'm sorry, dude, but you came on here and you disagreed with it, and you said that you thought that he was the better candidate. You have brought everything that we are talking about right now. You have brought up. I haven't brought up anything. Literally not anything. You said on the economic issues, and then you brought up the fucking tax plans. You have brought up everything. I have not brought up a single thing. I have not brought up an extra thing. I have not said, oh yeah, well, what about this other thing that Trump did? I haven't said anything of the sort. So everything that you are saying, I am directly responding to. So don't give me this bullshit about like, oh well, it's not just about.
Well, see, the thing is, when we're talking about like, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
it's not just about the tax ban. That's the only thing you brought up. If you want to move on to something else, that's fine. Like,
sure, yeah, well. It's funny you say that, because I also really wanted to talk about your view on the. Am I able to say the third one? I don't want to get banned or get you banned. Am I able to say it on the live?
Yeah, of course you are.
The men and women one? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't want to be disrespectful. Yeah, I inherently disagree with the idea that a trans man is a trans woman.
Whoa! What the fuck happened there? What the, what the fuck happened there? Literally, what the fuck happened there? You're not allowed to say it. Yes, yeah. Okay, whether you are actually allowed to say it or not, I have been saying it almost the entire fucking stream so far. And I have said it on almost every other stream that I have said. What word? Who banned him? What's the word that was used? Because I did not hear a single slur. I did not hear a single thing. He said the hard ore. What is the hard ore? Does the word start with N? Because if that's the case, no, he absolutely did not. No, he didn't. He literally didn't say that. He literally didn't say that. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure he did. Someone says type 1 in the chat if you heard it. I'm seeing obviously an awful lot of... They banned me for nothing. This is my alt account. I mean, like, there are people who are saying that you, like, set the fucking... hard... Yeah, I mean... I don't know. I don't know. I did not personally hear it. I did not personally hear it. You can't say trans. Yes, you fucking can. I've just said it. I've just said trans. You can absolutely say trans. Not only can you say it, I mean, it's also like, it's literally fucking front and center when in my fucking background, in my topics, like, and it's not just me, by the way, who has... I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's not just me who has word for word fucking... It is not just this word for word. Word for word. I am not the only person who has said that. There are how many thousands of fucking TikTokers are talking about trans people. I did not hear that. I'm going to go back up. Okay. I'm letting the next guest up. Calm down. All right. I'm going to go back over this live when it is finished. I'm going to go back over it tomorrow. I'm not going to lie to you, man. If he didn't use that word, your mods are gone. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Hi, my name is Fionn Tama Quilter. My age is 18, and my pronouns are he, him.
Okay, you sound familiar, man. Have you been up here before?
Yeah, I was up here last week.
Yeah, I can hear the giggling in the background. Bye. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Yeah, you can call me Bob, 36, he, him.
Okay, and what do you disagree with?
I guess the first and the last. Whether Donald will ruin the U.S. I mean, I feel like the U.S. was already on a downward spiral as it was. So it was inevitable that, you know, quote unquote, will be ruined. And that really depends what you mean by ruined.
Okay, why do you think that the US was already on a downward spiral? And I just keep in mind, I might not necessarily disagree with you.
No, yeah, no worries. I mean, you look at it's an outlier when it comes to providing basic social services. It doesn't guarantee, free healthcare to its citizenry. It exports weapons all over the world, and that seems to be its bread and butter. There's no third spaces in the U.S. The public infrastructure here is terrible. The transportation here is terrible. You go to other countries, they both have good public trans, but it's also affordable. Here, like if you use Amtrak, it's going to cost you like $100, and the service is awful. I mean, that's just some things. But I mean,
look,
like,
I mean, like obviously not.
the list goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, like not having like healthcare kind of free at the point of service. Yeah, I mean, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't necessarily kind of disagree with much of what you've said. I do think that, I mean, like, rather than kind of like picking the US up and kind of, lifting it up and making it better, I do not think in any way, shape, or form that he's going to help it. It is only going to get worse, which is just going to make the next presidential candidate, it's just going to make it harder for that person.
Potentially, but I mean, are you from the U.S.? Do you live here?
No.
Yeah, I noticed the accent. Okay, I didn't know if you were a citizen. But the Democratic Party, I'm not a MAGA supporter. Let me just preface that. But the Democratic Party does not do itself any favors as far as like providing a vision to counter the MAGA vision. So this was going to happen one way or another, whether it's Trump or another person who might have a more of a ideological vision. The good thing about Trump, he's not very ideological. But
yeah, no, look, that is true.
Saving grace.
I think the US did have an opportunity to kind of elect a quote unquote kind of saving grace twice, and they snubbed Bernie Sanders both times.
Agreed. I'm a Bernie guy.
Yeah, same as I am, man.
Yeah, so they'll do everything they can to stop a progressive. They'd rather lose to a Republican than win with a progressive. That seems to be the Democratic Party currently, sadly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that they kind of massively underestimated Trump this time, I mean, like, given, like, what happened on Jan 6th in 2021, what like has kind of happened since with the 34 felony counts. I mean, he's been kind of proven civilly liable of essaying a woman. I mean, like, I think like all of those, and then of course the overturning of Roe v. Wade, which kind of happened because of Trump's picks for the Supreme Court. I think that all of those things definitely kind of led to at least the kind of public understanding or the public kind of general opinion that it was going to there was just no way that Trump could win. I mean, like, at least that was my thought process kind of going into the last election. That's what I definitely kind of thought. But yeah, I mean, even kind of all of that like aside, yeah, I mean, I still do not think that, even though it didn't start out at like a great place to begin with when Trump got into office, even this time, it is going absolutely nowhere but down.
Right. I mean, hopefully it just crashes and burns. The Trump administration, I mean.
Yeah.
But I would just, man, I know you're on the outside, but on the inside here, like, honestly, you got to think about how bad is the system and how bad are people suffering that they think that a Trump presidency would alleviate their suffering. Like, to them, that's a viable option. And that's where I'm like, we need real reform in many other areas, especially within our political discourse, our media, along with the political parties. Because if this guy can win twice, that just shows like how weak the opposition party is, and also just how weak the political system itself is. And also shows to like how just the misunderstanding that the general population has when it comes to certain issues, as well as like they're so disgusted with what they see that they just choose this guy who's kind of like wreck it all, see what happens, and then deal with the consequences later. And like that's what it is. It's kind of like this nihilism that's pervasive.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, like, I definitely don't kind of agree with you. I think that the DNC is just going to, I mean, like, they had kind of said afterwards that, you know, like, maybe kind of Kamala didn't run too far enough to the right, that she was maybe kind of too kind of left of center, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, for God's sake, she went around with fucking, like, Liz Cheney, for fuck's sake, right?
Exactly.
Like, there's like all of these sorts of things. I just think that the DNC is so kind of fundamentally out of touch with the voters, and I mean, like, they just cannot seem to get independents or kind of swing voters anymore. They just can't seem to get them. Unfortunately for them, Bernie Sanders could get both, which is why I was obviously kind of on par with him. But look, it's not that I just kind of want to kind of cut this short or anything else. There's just far too much agreement. I'm really only kind of looking for debates. I do want to thank you though for popping up. And yeah, look, I hope you have a good rest of your night, but we really are only kind of looking for debates.
Yeah, no worries. You too. All right, take care.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, so I want to address something really, really quickly, okay? Reggie, who was the previous last caller, who's on the alt account, right? Until I know for sure what's after happening, I have followed you, okay? So I'm going to look back over it tomorrow. If you did not use any form of a slur, I will send you a message that you can post if you wish to, you know, genuinely saying sorry for what is after happening. I do not like that. Or I will just yeah, absolutely. I'm going to message you tomorrow after I listen to it back, and we will definitely kind of find out then what's after happening, okay? Yeah, but just for right now, I don't think it's the best idea to have you up. DM me on your main account. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you can if I'm after blocking you. Look, I followed you on that one. Follow me back. I'll get the notification. I will be able to DM you. It's fine. The chat is after being fucking crazy. I do realize that. I do understand that. But I will get to the bottom of this, because like I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If it wasn't unjust banning, I'm not happy with like what's after happening. So yeah, we'll go from there. All right. Well, that was fucking quick.
Hey Steven,
Chris, how are you? What's up, man?
I'm grand. I'm just saying I've been your probably your favorite moderator for ages, and I would hate to have that removed from me. I'm saying it now. I was listening to the chat, and they were all saying that he was saying slurs, and I wasn't listening, so I banned him.
So you weren't listening, but you banned him anyway.
Yeah, I was just seeing the chat going crazy.
Yeah, man, a lot. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I am gonna take the mods away. I'm not gonna I can't, man. I can't. You know.
Fucking smack my head. 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 Fucking smack my head.
How in the fuck were you a moderator? Dude, you fucking gifted. What the fuck is wrong with you? What in the name of Christ is wrong with you? Whoa. What the fuck is going on here now? Because you had... You had the same username as one of the mods, but with a different... username. Or with a different profile picture. I can't on my main, which probably just you've also just sent a fucking like a fucking like gift like right there now. Like, what is absolutely fucking happening? Okay. All right. Okay. Scott, you are definitely keeping. Anybody who has come in to my Discord, if you want to be a mod on the channel, you go into the Discord and you apply to be a mod. Okay, that's what you do, and you need to have been proven to have been here for several of the streams. We're going to properly kind of streamline this. There's going to be an application process. There's going to be all of this sort of stuff. I can do an awful lot of this sort of stuff on my own after the fact. It's just handy to have the mods in here to keep it at kind of bay and everything else. So yeah, Savage, no, you've been a friend of the channel for like literally like 3 going on 4 years. No. There are some kind of exceptions like that to somebody that I either know in real life, in that they are like an actual friend, somebody who has been a friend of the YouTube for years and years and years. Those don't, because you know me, I know you, whatever, right? To anybody who is on TikTok exclusively that wants to be a mod, there is a process to it. Becca, I see you in the live chat. How are you? All right, okay. We're going to be moving on to the next guest. It's okay. Well, that was quick. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
You can call me Slowy. I'm almost 40.
Okay.
And I go by the pronouns traditionally exclusive to males. So he, him.
Oh, okay. What do you disagree with on the board?
Let's do trans men and women are men and women.
Okay, sure. Why do you disagree?
Well, the definition of a man is an adult human male, and the definition of a woman is an adult human female. So trans cannot be, by definition, a man or a woman.
Okay. Are dictionaries descriptive or are they prescriptive?
Well, gender, I'm not going to go off a dictionary. I'm just going to go off of gender. If you define gender biologically, that would be potential role in reproduction.
Why on earth would you define gender biologically? You can define it neurobiologically, but it's not.
No, your potential role in reproduction will never change. A male that is born with the body that is aimed or designed to produce.
That's your sex.
One
not
thing
your gender.
will never produce another thing.
That's your sex.
So they're
not your
synonymous
gender.
when you define gender biologically.
That's your sex, not your gender.
Okay, so they're synonymous when you define them when you define gender biologically. Gender and sex are synonymous.
You cannot define gender biologically because it is a sociological phenomenon.
It's a sociological phenomenon.
Yes.
So your role in reproduction is not designed, like you don't have a choice, right? For your potential role in reproduction.
No. You are conflating sex and gender constantly. So your sex,
They're synonymous.
that would be no, they are not. That would be they like overlap. They can correlate, but they are absolutely not the same thing. So your sex would be your genitalia and would be your chromosomes and would be kind of maybe one or two other things. Your gender is pretty much everything else. Because if it's not, so typically, it is mainly women who wear high heels. Where is it written in the DNA code that women wear high heels and men don't?
That's a choice.
So okay, so I'll
Your
just ask. So I'll
appearance- is
just
your
ask you
appearance-
again.
is your appearance your choice?
Shush. So I'll just ask you again. Where is it
Don't be
written
rude.
in the DNA code? You're over talking to me on my life. You don't get the niceties anymore. Where is it written in the DNA code that women wear high heels?
It's written in the DNA code that they
Where
are designed to
where
produce
is it written in the
eggs.
DNA code? You're not answering the question. Where is it written in the DNA code that women wear high heels and men don't?
It's not written in the DNA code.
So therefore sex and gender are completely
That's why it's a
different things.
choice.
Therefore sex and gender are completely different things because gender, a
No.
phenotypic expression of your gender is to wear
Your
high heels.
role-
It is all to do with the clothes that you like that you feel comfortable in,
Oh,
that
thank
you
you.
wear.
So being
That is
trans is a choice.
that is a phenotypical expression. Being trans is not, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you? You actually think that you had a gotcha there? A phenotypic expression of your gender, all of that is a choice. There is nothing to say at all that you and I can't wear a fucking dress or a skirt if we leave the house. There is nothing in the DNA code to say that. That is by definition a choice. You feel comfortable in, I presume, a shirt and pants, so you go outside in a shirt and pants. If you feel comfortable wearing a dress, then you go outside in a dress. It is that simple. It is what you feel. It is an expression of your gender identity. That is not written anywhere in the DNA
How do you
code.
identify as something if it's not already established? What is a gender identity if you don't already have gender?
Well, you always had gender. Gender roles have been around as long as
So what is the
society
gender?
has. Even before that,
Okay, so what was gender first before gender identity? It was based off what, your role in reproduction?
it was based off
Or
of your
potential
role
role in
within.
reproduction?
It was based off of your role within society, and even before that,
So profession?
it was.
So most of my clothes are based on my profession. So if I work in construction, I'm going to buy pants and shirts and long sleeve shirts, and it's not based off of anything but what I need my clothes to do. Right?
All right. Yeah, sure.
So gender
Do you
is
have a
and
next
should
point?
be gender should be defined by potential role in reproductions. Therefore, trans men cannot be
No,
female.
I mean, no. I'm sorry. You're
Because they will
you're-
never
you're
possess
You're just
the bodily.
Shut up. You're just fundamentally
you're speaking over me.
misunderstood. Shut
Don't get
up.
mad.
It's my fucking live. I will speak whenever I want to. Shut up. You have a fundamental misunderstanding
Why are you so mad?
of the distinction between sex and gender. I
You
have
have a
tried to
fundamental
explain it to you.
misunderstanding.
Shut the fuck up. Interrupt me one more time, you're gone. You have a fundamental misunderstanding of the distinction between
You have a
sex and...
fundamental misunderstanding.
Mods, ban him, please. You have a fundamental misunderstanding of the distinction between sex and gender. I can explain it to you. I cannot understand it for you. Okay? Given the stuff that you had gone to and what you were like kind of bringing up and everything else, I'm very, very sorry. I have neither the time nor the crayons to explain this to you. It's my life. Yeah, it absolutely is my life. If you don't like it, fuck off. I see other people waiting to join. Slowy, why are you still here? Get the fuck out. Okay, I'm gonna catch up on. I do see one. Sam, the official. You're there. Before I get to you, just gonna go over some of the kind of TikTok comments that are going up. One person just says sausage, which is just like sure, fine. Two genders. There's at least two. There's probably more. Cry more. I love it. Oh, okay, well, you can just kind of cry more that you're never going to see this live again. Thank you, Scott. Let us not argue. The whole fucking point. Thank you, Savage, for getting that. And also thank you, Scott, Ryan. Jesus Christ. Two sexes. Even that's not strictly a binary, so you know, there's like I would say the same thing. There's at least two. You'd love to talk to me. Pop up. Who is Charlie? I don't know. Who is Charlie? Male, female. Those would be the sexes. And again, there's at least two. So, because, I mean, like, sex is not a strict binary either. So, thank you so much for the gift. By the way, I had like gotten kind of one or two people kind of asking me after the fact, like, what this is. It's thank you in sign language. It's just like when I'm mid conversation and someone sends a gift. I get that the kind of bigger lads kind of do it and stuff like that. Like, I don't particularly like it when they interrupt a conversation to, you know, like go, you know, oh, like, thank you so much so and so for gifting. So it's just a thank you. Bring Charlie back. No. Can't debate stupidity. You are fucking correct there. It's strictly only two. It's literally not. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, you maybe need to kind of go onto the Googly box. It is free. There's no, you know, it's not a paid service. So you can go onto the Googly box and look this shit up. Not strictly two. He was meant to be there, but Reggie went ahead of him. Guys, I have a list of the guys like there, and I do them in order. So no. What is a man or a woman defined as? Hey, maybe we'll get to it if the next person talks about it. Nathan Dunn says, let's debate. Unfortunately, Nathan, Sam was ahead of you. You will be next, though. You will be next, though. So, you know. All right, okay. We're going to go on to Sam, who is the next guest there. And Nathan, then we'll be on to them after that. Sam, the official. Was this guy not on, like, only earlier?
Hey,
doing? What's your
so
name?
my name's Sam. Yeah, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm 18 years old. So, first of all, I just want to say I agree with you on a few of the points, and I think that a lot of people are coming on here saying that trans men and women aren't men and women. I just want to say I completely disagree with that. I just want to move on to my guy is uneducated, because I completely disagree with that, considering that a lot of the campaign work for Trump was done at colleges all across America.
Okay, so
when you say uneducated, do you mean uneducated in general, or are you going to be specific and saying uneducated in politics?
I mean,
or
uneducated about politics, 100%.
Oh, okay.
You can have a college level. You could, like, dude, you could have a fucking self-made billionaire vote for Trump. That doesn't mean that he's educated about politics.
Yeah, I mean,
he might be
I do
very
actually
good at what he does, but that doesn't mean he's educated about politics.
Yeah, I mean, I think the American public in general will be uneducated, but I think that also includes the Democrats. I think that they don't have the full understanding of politics, and I don't think it just goes for MAGA, if you know what I'm saying. Do you,
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that, like, even, well, I mean, at least kind of Democrats are not voting against their own best interests. Like, so I mean, like, they would be better in that way. I just think that, like, an awful lot of Republicans, like, are, like, voting, as I said, against their best interests. They have absolutely no understanding of kind of class consciousness. They have no, like, yeah, I mean, it's crazy out here.
yeah, but yeah. So I suppose I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think that they are quite well educated, as in, like, I don't think you can say they are less educated than Democrats. So there's no like statistics or anything that can back that up. So I'm kind of like a facts and figures type of guy. So I wouldn't really be putting it down to kind of, you know, I say this, you say this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So will we move on to a different point? Because I don't think that. I
Sure.
think that's okay. So Donald will ruin the US. So for putting that up there, I just want you to explain your reasoning.
Yeah, I mean, look, sure. I mean, I used to kind of, when I had started these a couple of weeks ago, I used to kind of go on to, like, what he had done in his previous administration. I actually don't even have to anymore. So he crashed the stock market by over 1,000 points in only 2.5 days, I think it was. I don't think it quite got into the third day. The tariffs that he has put on has, like, caused economic just just an absolute complete and utter crash. As I said, the stock market is just in complete and utter free fall. He has threatened to invade, take over, buy Greenland, the Panama Canal. He's talked about now owning Gaza and basically turning into a fucking resort for him and his billionaire buddies. I mean, like, do you want me to go on, or is that enough?
Well, that's kind of enough for me to kind of bounce back, I suppose. So economically, I'll get back to some of the other points you mentioned, but the stock market, I do agree with you on that. Like, there's been some major, like, falls in certain stocks. Like, one stock went down 50%. It's called Smegmahead stock. You fucking Smegmahead, you.
Chat, I asked you earlier, did he sound familiar? And you all said no. I had faith in you. Come on, guys. I had faith in you. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Hello, Stephen. My name is Nathan, and my pronouns are, how do you answer that? Him?
Yeah, sure.
He, him, yeah.
Okay. What do you disagree with on the board?
Let me see. To be honest with you, man, I literally only went on and I seen Let's Debate, so I do like the debate. Donald will ruin the US. I disagree. Okay. Elon did the salute. I also disagree. Trans men / women are men / women. I disagree. Pro-choice, I don't really have an opinion on abortion, to be honest with you. It's not really my field.
Okay.
Make America great again is uneducated. Could you elaborate on that?
I think that they are uneducated on politics. I don't think that they, like, have any idea how politics works. I think that they vote against their best interests.
Do you not think the main interest for the people who support the whole MAGA movement would be to push America to make America great again?
What does that even mean? What does it mean to make America great again? When was America great?
Well, the whole philosophy of making America great again would be to make America better than it was before in the previous administration, in the Biden administration. And the whole concept of improving America as a whole, improving the people, improving the safety, improving the economy, improving absolutely everything that it possibly can.
Okay, so when was it great?
When was it great? To be honest with you, I I believe that America has a lot of issues, and it has always had a lot of issues. The whole aspect of America being great again, it depends on what you call great. I suppose it depends on who you speak to, but I think America has a lot of issues, and I don't think their main concern should be making it great again. It should be to making it better again, which is the main goal. It's for everybody. Do you know what I mean? You consistently want to try and improve, whether it's yourself, whether it's the country that you live in. And I believe that the whole concept of trying to make something greater is a good thing. And if you have somebody who pushes the motive that you want, which would be Trump for this case, in people who want to make America so on and so forth great again, would be a good thing, because you're pushing towards moving and having that push to get to where you want to get to, having somebody who will actually take action to make America greater again. So to answer your question, when was America great again? Ever great? I don't know, to be honest with you, but I don't think that's the whole concept of it. I believe that the main goal is to make America greater again, if that makes sense.
Okay, so do you not think that, considering that the MAGA movement has been alive for 9 years now, and I have just asked you when America was great, and you don't know, does that not just prove my fifth point?
I think that, look, I don't think uneducated is the right term. I believe that it's a good thing to push for. For example, if I was to give an analogy towards it, it will kind of be with having a movement, having a belief. And you could relate to belief as a religion, for example. Let's say you have somebody who believes in Jesus. Whether Jesus is real or not, the whole concept of believing in Jesus is good. I'm not religious myself. I am not a Christian. But I believe that people who believe in Jesus, even though he may not be real or not, the whole aspect of him potentially existing makes people better. So for somebody to have a motive to make America greater again, makes people want to be greater and makes a place greater. If you have the people to think, let's make America worse again, let's make America bad, well, then you're going to have a load of people who try to push the same agendas and make America worse. As I was saying before, great is subjective. Some people could say America is great. Some people could say America has a lot of issues. Personally, would I live in America? Maybe. Would I have lived in America during the Biden administration? Most certainly not. And we can see over everything that's going on, freedom of speech, they're trying to attack. They're trying to attack people's beliefs and everything.
Who's
the whole entire the Biden administration and all of the agendas that they were pushing? As you could see with all of the things that they were trying to finance, that's why we have the introduction of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, having a look at everything that the administration and the government were spending because of the agendas that they were trying to push. I think is completely egregious and asinine. I don't agree with absolutely nearly anything that they are kind of pushing, and in my opinion. Okay. So yeah, I believe. So
what was the policy that the Biden admin influenced to get passed that negatively affected free speech?
I can tell you right now. Actually, if you want me to look it up.
Sure.
The exact one. Okay. Get the actual name of it, but I'm proving what I'm saying, so I will find it. Where is it? Right there. I can't find the exact one, but I can use with relations. So, for example, if we look at people that they were trying to cancel, look at Trump, for instance. You have the likes of Trump, you have the likes of Russell Brand, you have the likes of people like Andrew Tate. Anybody who tries to push certain beliefs that they don't want people believing in, they go against it, they try to cancel it, they go against their freedom of speech, they shut down all of their platforms. And for example, we had the likes of Russell
you
Brand.
think that the Biden administration, the government, was doing that rather than the private companies themselves?
Yes, because they were told what to do. That's how it goes.
Right. So you think that the head of the American government was talking to the social media companies and told them to ban a single individual or a number of singular individuals?
Absolutely, because it's not
Do you have
about the units.
any evidence for that claim whatsoever?
There's a lot of evidence out there that go on. Yes, if you look at the likes
Okay.
of Russell Brand, he
Present
speaks
it.
about it on.
Present
It's
it.
on. It's all on videos. It's all on videos.
It's all
If you go on
on-
Rumble, it's all on videos. So for the likes of Russell Brand, when he got attacked, he was a part of the so-called Matrix, as people say, and he spoke against it. And then he was talking about the pharmaceutical companies and how bad the pharmaceutical companies are, which I hope you do see, and everything that goes wrong with the pharmaceutical companies. And then with COVID and the likes of COVID, and how COVID was an absolute scam, and it was just the government flexing their powers to just show how they control the entire world. And then he spoke against that, and then they just came up with absolutely heinous beliefs and fake accusations against them. It's the exact same with Donald Trump, as we see. It's the same with the Tate brothers. It happens all of the time. If you speak against the government,
Wait. You think that there was fake accusations against the Tate brothers?
there was fake accusations against the Tate brothers. That's why they haven't been proven guilty for anything. That's why their case has been dismissed.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, like this.
What have they-
This is gonna be like arguing against a brick wall. There is almost nothing that I can say to you. I mean, if you think
No,
that there
look.
was the accusations against the Tate brothers was just completely and utterly false. I mean, like Andrew himself did a video on exactly what he was being accused of. He literally broke down exactly what. So they were accused of getting some of the women that work for him to go to the meetings in order to help get other girls to come back to him to work for his company. That's what he was accused of. And once they were there, they took their passports and all this other stuff, right? That's what they were accused of. He went on video and he said, "That's what I did." Like,
Okay. He was accused of human
know.
trafficking.
well, yes,
And using
when
the lover boy
yes,
method.
yes, when you bring exactly. That's exactly what I have just said. So when you bring someone into a different country and keep them there against their will, if you take their passports away from them, that is absolutely human trafficking, 150%.
Okay, so I actually know the exact time that you were talking about this, and they showed the two women, and they also pulled up the WhatsApp messages that they had. The two women that you were speaking and referring of actually exited the house, which was seen on CCTV footage. They exited his home, went out to get a Pizza Hut, and then came back with the pizza boxes. And I don't know, if I'm somebody who's being human trafficked or captured at my own will, if I have the opportunity to go outside
But
on
they
my
leave
own,
the country.
they leave the country.
Could they-
Who left the country?
Could the girls that you are talking about leave the country
Why wouldn't they be able to leave the country?
because they had their passports taken?
You can leave the house.
That's not what I asked you. Could they leave the country?
I don't know. I don't see anywhere where anybody took passports. I didn't see that anywhere. I'd love to see that because I did not see that anywhere. They have been accused for using the lover boy method and using sex trafficking, or for human
Which
trafficking.
Andrew
my apologies.
already agreed. He already said yes. He didn't say I used the Loverboy method, but he described it. So like that.
He
that
said
point
that
is
he
just
bought his
moot.
girlfriend's.
That point is moot.
He said he bought his girlfriend's Birkin bag.
He brought the girls that were already working for him to meetings with potential new, let's call them workers. That's not what they were, but let's just call them that because I don't want to get fucking flagged. In an effort to make it seem as if it was better than what it was, so that they would go back and they would work for him. That is absolutely the Loverboy method. 150. He literally described it.
He said that he seen his girlfriend and he bought them Birkenbacks. And now he's been accused of human trafficking. That's what he said.
Okay.
And if I was somebody...
If you take somebody into your house, right, from a different country, and when they get into your house, you take their passport and you lock it away in a safe that only you know the code for, have you...
Where did you see that? I did not see any of that.
That's what that's the whole point of the accusations. That's why the charge of human trafficking even came up in the first place, because they weren't allowed to leave the country.
The reason why they got charged in the first place was because they were talking about things that the government
You do realise that the reason that the Tate brothers moved to Romania was because he said on a live, that, like, I am quoting, the laws around grape are not that bad over there, or are like, they're like not that serious over there.
When was this?
On a video that Andrew Tate did.
When?
When he was in the height of his fucking infamy.
You know, he moved to Romania.
This shit. Dude, I watched this shit. What are you talking about?
That's incorrect, because he moved to Romania like 7 to 9 years ago.
Well, whenever he did a fucking video about it, then he said that the reason that he moved to the country was because the laws around grape were not that serious. I know this. You support him. You are saying that he was wrongfully accused. You are saying that, you know, he did the fucking Loverboy method, but he didn't really. He just fucking described it. He was accused of human trafficking, but he took their passports, but that doesn't really fucking count. Like, you're saying, you're defending him. I know this shit. Dude, this is fucking embarrassing for you.
It's
How
not.
Are you
I wouldn't.
Embarrassed.
Because if you accuse men of doing such heinous crimes of something that they've been accused of and haven't been imprisoned or incarcerated of, well, then you are just as bad as the government and everything that they try to spew themselves.
It was not any way in response to what I just said. Not in any way, shape, or form. Okay. If you were to look at me, for example, I have never touched a single drug in my entire life, except paracetamol. If you wanted me in jail, you could probably find me when I was 12 years old, robbing a chicken fillet roll from Centra. If you have all of these different governments attacking you in search to imprisonate and incarcerate you from America, from the UK, from Romania, and all of the other places in the world who don't want you pushing the things that you speak about, then the likelihood of you being caught doing something illegal is very high. And after finding absolutely everything about you, contacting all of the people you've been in contact with, all of the girls you've ever spoken to, all of the business partners you've ever spoken to, for the fact that nobody ever speaking out against something that you have done illegally ever is very, 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 very difficult. So for or
all
you
of
could
these
just,
people,
not break the law. That's fairly fucking simple.
Well, if you don't break the law, you don't get incarcerated, sir. You don't get found guilty for anything. And he hasn't been found guilty for anything. So I will not accuse a man of doing such heinous crimes. I haven't broken the law, and I haven't even been accused of a crime. That's great. Same with me.
Right, so what the fuck was that whole rambling nonsense word salad bullshit then? What the fuck was that? If you go into all of these countries and you find all of these people and the idea that they're not going to say anything, that you did anything illegal, what the fuck was the point in any of that? By the way, none of it was an answer to the yes or no question that I asked you of, are you not embarrassed?
You broke up there.
I know this shit and you don't. Why are you not embarrassed?
Okay. If you were to label a man something for something that he's been accused
Why are
of
you
and
not
hasn't
embarrassed?
been
This is not
found
an answer to that question.
because he
Why
hasn't
are you
been
not
found guilty.
embarrassed? Right.
Because he hasn't been found guilty.
That's not what we're talking about. I asked you, why are you not embarrassed? Because Tate has said on a video that the reason that he moved to Romania was because the laws around grape were not that serious.
Okay.
And you didn't know about that, and you're out here defending him. So I'll ask you
Has
again,
he raped?
why are you not
Has
embarrassed?
Has he been found guilty of raping
Why
somebody?
are you not embarrassed?
Why would I be embarrassed of
Because
not accusing a man
you're
of
out
something
here
that he's not guilty
defending a
of?
man for something that he probably did do. I'm inclined
don't
to
know he
believe
did
that
do.
he did. But
we know
why
that
are
we
you
don't know
out
that
here
he did.
defending him when you don't even know the reason why he moved to Romania in the first place? This was news to you. I brought this information to you. So I'll ask you a fifth time, why are you not embarrassed?
Because he hasn't been found guilty of any crime. And I will not accuse a man of committing such heinous crimes for something he hasn't been found guilty of.
This is like arguing with a fucking brick wall. I've asked you 5 times why you're not embarrassed. You're refusing to answer the question. This is literally a brick wall that I'm talking to. No, I'm sorry. I'm not
Absolutely
listening
not.
to
I'm open.
I'm not listening to another word. Get out of here. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Charlie, and I'm 18, and he, him. What are your pronouns so I don't misgender you?
He, him.
I'm not saggy smegma man, full seg smeg.
Really? Really, dude? Really? Really? You sat there, you complained to my mods, you sat there for 30 fucking minutes, joined instantly so I know you were watching just to get, what was that? 5 seconds? These sad individuals. All right. How you doing?
Hey.
What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Isa, 45, she, her.
Okay. What do you
I just
disagree
wanted
with?
to go. Yeah, actually, nothing. I wanted to go after the last guy and his accusation that Biden had violated any First Amendment laws, and he had not.
No, he didn't.
Canceling people is not violation, but I wanted to pass on that Donald Trump is literally violating First Amendment law right now. He is a man named Mahmoud Fahil is being detained right now illegally. We have the First Amendment right to protest in this country, and he has arrested a man for that. A man is being detained illegally right now, this very moment.
Yep, 100%. I mean, look, if he wasn't like fucking like Ross in that one episode of Friends fucking pivoting all over the fucking shop, then I absolutely would have kind of brought that up, because I did hear that as well. Yeah, I mean, like, that's not even to talk about the fact that Donald Trump has like threatened to go after you know, the media, to news outlets that doesn't like fucking report on him favorably. All of this shit. He was deeply against the First Amendment. Deeply against.
I just want to clear it up with Corey in the comments real quick. He has a legal permanent residence status. Mahmoud does. So he's being illegally detained. Legal permanent residency, he's legal. So, and everybody who's in this country legally has protections, has constitutional protections. So regardless of whether he's a citizen of this country or if he's a permanent resident, he's being illegally detained. That is anti-constitutional and anti-American.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to talk crap about Biden's not the president anymore, but Trump is actively violating the Constitution right now, this very moment, as we speak.
No, I mean, like, I was doing these sorts of arguments and stuff like that, like when the campaign was like still going on and people were still bringing up Biden. It's just like, Biden wasn't fucking running against Trump. Like, people are fucking obsessed. Like, it's mental.
Right. Also, people who voted for Biden out because he was the better option, but nobody who voted for Biden is obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Nobody worships him.
No.
It's nothing like that.
No.
So,
we
people
don't
who
have,
are MAGA
like,
are obsessed with him.
we didn't have fucking lives of like Joe Biden's face fucking badly photoshopped onto a jacked body. We don't have lives where our fucking background is like an AI photo of Trump with a fucking crown on his head. You've like people fought in like a fucking war to get away from kings and queens. Jesus Christ! I mean, your ancestors would be ashamed of you. It's ridiculous. Like we don't.
No, it is truly
we
shameful.
don't plaster our fucking houses and our cars with fucking Trump memorabilia. We don't like go out in that ridiculous fucking red hat like everywhere that you go, even to fucking church and shit. Like it's like they're literally in a fucking cult. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like.
I mean, I'm 45 and I've never seen anything like this in my life. The first president I voted for was Bill Clinton, and there's nothing in my life I've ever seen like this. The worship over, like, these people treat him as though he's a god, and it's insane to me, especially with that man to choose, because like he's been actively hated since the 80s, so I don't really understand it.
Yeah, look,
So
I mean,
I just wanted to say that because that guy really was just lying through his teeth with a straight face, and it was weird.
Oh, I know he was. And Jesus Christ, I mean, like to be in 2025, the year of our Lord, to be fucking defending Andrew Tate. I mean, Jesus Christ, like how far do you have to have fallen, right? But look, anyway, yeah. Thank you so much for popping up. It was great to kind of talk to you and get a sensible fucking conversation. But yeah,
No worries. And thank you for doing this from afar. I appreciate it. I like that people outside of the country are talking this way. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Anyway, look, have a fantastic rest of your night, and yeah,
You
I
too.
hope to see you soon.
Thank you. I'll follow you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Hey, bro. Favors. My screen name is Roberto anyway. 41, he, him.
Okay, what do you disagree with on the board?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I didn't realize it's just opposition. No, I agree with you 100%.
Oh, all right, okay. Well, look, definitely thank you so much for popping up. We really are just looking for debates. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
I prefer to just go by PL. 20, he, him.
Okay, and what do you disagree with on the board?
I'd probably say all of it.
Okay, why are you not pro-choice?
What do you mean?
Well, pro-choice
Why
is
am
one
I-
of the things on the board, and you said that you disagree with all of them, so why are you not pro-choice?
Because that's unaliving. Innocent child.
Okay, most abortions are done roughly around kind of 12 to 16 weeks, which is well before the state of sentience. If it's not a sentient creature, then I don't care.
But it's
In
a
the same
child.
way as I don't care if someone cuts down a tree. It's not sentient, I don't care about it.
Yeah, but it's still a child. It's a human.
Well, it's a fetus that's going to be a human, but it's not really not really a person yet. It's not a...
Do you know what fetus means?
Yeah. Why don't you tell me?
It means little human being.
So, no, it doesn't. It means offspring. Because it's
Look it
not
up.
just... yeah, I already have looked it up, and I already know what the definition of fetus is, and it is an offspring. So you can say that it is... you can say that there is a cat fetus, or there is a zebra fetus, or there is a dolphin fetus, which Charlie Kirk famously didn't know the fucking difference between. There is you have a fetus for almost every single species that's on the planet. It's not inherently linked to humans. So, do you want to try again?
Well, I'm not going to try anything again because I know what the meaning is.
Right. Definition of fetus. Do you have a preferred dictionary?
So preferred, yeah, I have a definition right here. Unborn human baby.
Do you have a preferred dictionary?
To be honest, the only one that I can think of is the Oxford one.
Wonderful. So I have the definition of it right here, and it is from Oxford Languages. An offspring of a human or other mammal in the stages of prenatal development that follow the embryo stage and then in parentheses it is in humans taking at the beginning 8 weeks after conception. So the second word in that definition from Oxford, which you told me that you were okay with and that was your preferred dictionary.
No, I said that was the only one that I know of.
Right. So when it said that, it was an offspring of humans or other mammals, did you just forget that bit or what? Did you just have an oopsie daisy? You just kind of forgot it?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But what about the Cambridge Dictionary? It says a young human being before birth.
You see, now you're kind of pivoting and you're moving the goalposts a little bit because you told me that Oxford was the one that you wanted to go with, so that I brought up that definition, and now you're pivoting to say, oh yeah, well, what about this one?
I'm not pivoting. I'm just saying.
Either way, dictionaries are not prescriptive; they are descriptive. They just describe how a word should be used, but not how it ought to be used. There is a massive difference.
No, because fetus, a young human being.
It's offspring of a human or an other or a different mammal.
Yeah, offspring. What is an offspring?
Are we actually caught up on this? What are we doing? What are we doing here?
I mean, bruv, you literally use the word human, so you just proved my point by saying human.
Human or other mammal? Are you fucking ill? Are you slow? I'm sorry, to be so fucking harsh, but genuinely, do you want me to get out? Do you want me to get out a piece of fucking paper and connect the fucking dots for you? What?
You just said the word human.
Or I swear
So
to
that
Christ,
means it's unaliving.
I swear to Christ, I'm gonna have a fucking brain aneurysm. Human or
Bro, why
other
the fuck do you
mammals,
even care? You don't...
or other mammals, so it's not inherent to fucking human beings. And aside from all of that, even if it did just say human, it's before the stage of sentience, so I don't care.
So when did you said that 8 from weeks? What was it? 12 to 18? Was that what you said?
It's the vast majority of abortions are done between 12 and 16 weeks.
Okay.
I think it's more than 90%. Might be 92, 93. But so it's the vast majority of them.
All right. I'm not disputing that. In your opinion, do you want pro-choice all 9 months?
Yeah. There are two forms of non-lethal abortions which should be done after 24 weeks, which is when sentience starts to appear.
What about at 8 months?
Again, do you really need to invest in a pair of listening ears? Because this is crazy. I'm fucking repeating myself 3 or 4 times. There are 2 forms of non-lethal abortions that can be done after 24 weeks. So you tell me whether you think that that it is my opinion on whether one of the 2 non-lethal forms of abortion should be done at 8 months. You tell me I think.
No, I was just asking if you think it should be pro-choice all 9 months.
And I answered that question now twice.
And why are you arguing for this law to be in America and not arguing for it to be? I'm assuming you're from England.
Well, it's close. I am Ireland, where we got our independence about a century ago. So just a little bit off on your history there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't know you were from Ireland.
The accent's a bit of a giveaway, but okay.
Sorry, my volume's a little down. I can't really hear that much. Wait, what part of Ireland?
The south. It doesn't matter. Why? So Why are you not? Like, okay, so do you think that after 24 weeks that a pregnant person should be able to do a non-lethal form of abortion?
Well, I don't think I don't think that there should be any forms of abortion that should be legal.
So even a non-lethal form of abortion, so where the baby lives at 24 weeks, you don't think that should be legal?
What? Wait, so
a non-lethal form of an abortion, so the baby is taken out of the pregnant person and put into an incubator.
At 24 weeks?
Yes,
at that point, the baby...
Where it will go from there right up to 9 months, then it'll be taken out of the incubator, and it's a good, healthy, happy fucking baby.
Yeah, but after 24 weeks of conception, I highly doubt a baby can be able to live.
So the earliest that we've had is 21 weeks. That's the earliest that a baby has lived in an incubator up until full term. That's the earliest that we've had, and that's just so far.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Okay, so now that you do know that, I'll ask you again. After 24 weeks, if a woman wants to, should they be able to do a non-lethal form of abortion?
I would say probably. Well, how many times? Well, you said it's happened. The earliest occurrence was 21 weeks. You said.
Mm-hmm.
And is this a pretty common and new thing that's happening?
I mean, like, it's fairly. I mean, it's not just one example. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, is this like because I've never heard of this before in my life. So is this like a pretty new thing?
Within the last, say, 5 years.
All right, yeah. So that's pretty fairly new. I would say I don't really know much about it to say whether it should be legal or illegal, but as long as the baby doesn't get harmed and the mother doesn't get harmed, I would say yeah.
Okay, so just assume everything that I have told you is true, because I'm getting a sneaking suspicion that you don't quite believe me, but just assume everything that I have said is true, and if we do a non-lethal abortion at 24 weeks, that the baby will survive up until 9 months, it can be taken out of the incubator. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, as long as it's like proven that, like, if that were to happen, that the baby and the mother's life would be like not at risk, then yes.
Right. Okay. So, right. Well, it's fucking wonderful, because this just boils down to you not understanding how consent works. Because if you are okay with the pregnant person taking having an non-lethal abortion, so in that instance, that pregnant person is no longer consenting to staying pregnant. So you just have a total misunderstanding of how consent works. Because if you were to be forced to wait up until 24 weeks and go against the pregnant person's consent, then you just don't know how that works.
What do you mean? You asked me a question, I answered.
Okay, so do you believe that if a person has sex and they get pregnant, do you believe that consent to sex is consent to pregnancy?
I think, like, if two people are having sex, like, consensually, then those two people should know the possible outcomes of having sex.
Sure. So, but do you think that consent to sex is consent to pregnancy? It's a yes or no answer.
Yes.
Right. You don't know how consent works. I'm sorry.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do, because I have a child, and
no, you don't.
I don't have a child.
That's wonderful for you. There are at least 5 people in my YouTube, and at least probably 20 people in my TikTok live that are women, and an awful lot of them I know to have children, and they would agree with me, not you. So I like, it's wonderful that you have a child, but that is completely and utterly irrelevant.
No, because so you're saying when I was so consent to me having sex with my girlfriend
is
was
not consent to her getting and staying pregnant.
But what if we were doing it with the intent of her getting pregnant?
Well, that's absolutely wonderful for you, but if you weren't,
Is that still consent?
Yeah, well, yes. If you were intending to get pregnant, then yes, that is consent to getting pregnant. Yes, but if you were having sex and did not consent to intending to get pregnant, then that is not consent to pregnancy.
I mean, I don't think it's like, well, it's up to, there's a lot of factors that play into pregnancy. Like how to get pregnant, like even if if you're wearing protection, you could still get pregnant. If you're intending not to, you could still get pregnant. Is that the guy's fault? No.
Right. So if you are having sex and you are using protection, then clearly you are not consenting to getting pregnant.
On both parties, both parts.
If you are using protection, if you're using protection, then yeah.
Okay, but what about like there's so many times where people do it unintentionally of getting pregnant.
And
that doesn't mean that it's not consensual. You know, women can't just decide to get pregnant or not.
Yeah, I know that, dude. But I'm just saying that if somebody has sex and they end up pregnant, that does not mean that simply because they consented to the sex that they consent to pregnancy. That is not the same things. No, they don't.
They consent to the possible outcomes that.
No, they don't.
That could happen.
No, they don't. Do you want me to explain?
Yes,
no, they don't.
No, they do. I don't need you to explain. I don't need you to explain. I already know. No, because I already know. You should know.
Dude, when I'm talking, you're not. Okay? So why that is so ridiculous, right? If you're saying that if you consent to sex, that you are consenting to at least the possibility of pregnancy, that is the exact same as you saying if you get into a car and go for a drive, you are consenting to getting into a car crash, or at least the possibility of.
Yeah, yes, of course it's a possibility.
Right. Okay. So should the paramedics help you if you do get into a car crash because you consented to the possibility? So do you think that they should help you? Because under your logic they shouldn't, and under mine they should.
No, under my logic you're comparing abortion and sex with car accidents.
I'm going to explain this to you one more time. If you get into a car and you get into a car crash, right? Under your logic of if you have sex, then you are consenting to pregnancy, and then not only that, but you are also saying, but then you can't have an abortion afterwards. If that is your position, okay, what you are then saying is if you get into a car and you get into a car crash, when the paramedics show up, they shouldn't help you. Because you consented to it. It was a possibility. You knew it was a possibility that you might get into a car crash. And because they shouldn't have the right to an abortion, then they shouldn't have the right to the medical aftercare when it shows up. That's your position.
It's not my position. No,
it absolutely is your position.
Yeah, I think that they should. Yeah, that's their job. They call it accidents for a reason. You think they do it on purpose? You think people get in car crashes on purpose?
Well, yeah, because nobody in the history of an 8 billion people on this planet, not one person was conceived accidentally. Really? What's the matter with you? When's the last time you went outside and actually spoke to a human being face to face? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You said that if you get into a car crash, then it's an accident, and that's what the paramedics show up to help you in. That's exactly what you said. And before you say that you didn't, I have 36 people in this TikTok live.
Yeah, 36 people. That's sad.
More on YouTube. They will fact check
you. Want to get it out?
So don't fucking lie to me, dude. Don't even do it.
Why are you getting so mad?
Actually, you know what? Please say that that's not what you said, and watch them fact check you, please. Please
Why are
do
you
it.
getting so upset?
Because you're being fucking stupid. That's why.
But why are you getting so mad?
Because you're being stupid, and I'm forced to talk to a stupid person.
You seem very upset right now.
Because you're stupid.
That's not very nice.
It might not be nice, but it's true. The truth hurts.
Yeah,
you
the
can
truth
stop
hurts.
being. You can stop being stupid and admit that your logic is ridiculous. If you want to, if you want me to stop being fucking hurtful because your fifis are getting hurt, I mean, like that's fine. But I mean, like you can make me feel better then by like fucking admitting that your logic is ridiculous.
I don't think that. I think you're very mean to me.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm gonna sleep terribly tonight now just thinking about how mean I've been to you.
So mean.
Yeah.
There you go. Take a breath.
There anything else, or do you wanna move the fuck on?
Sure. You want to talk about MAGA is uneducated?
Sure. Why not?
All right. What's your stance on that?
Do you really just ask me that question?
I mean, like, can you what do you call it? Like, can you explain your reasoning behind why you think that?
Because I think that they vote against their own best interests. I think that the class consciousness understanding of people who vote Republican is just simply just not there. They vote again, or they voted for a candidate who has lied to them repeatedly. He said that he was going to sort out the price of eggs and gas on day one. He said, quote, that he was going to do it so fast it'll make your head spin. My head remains unspun.
But you don't live in America, so you can't really
but it'd still make my head spin if he did it on day one, considering it's completely external factors which are affecting the price of eggs. So I mean, like that really would be something. I mean, like, do you want more examples?
I mean,
or is that enough for you to go on?
You're entitled to your own opinion, but I don't think calling an entire group of people like that is like, I don't think that's right. You can have your opinions on it.
You are American, I take it, yeah?
Technically, yeah.
Okay, did you vote in the last election?
I did.
Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I don't already know the answer to this, but who did you vote for?
I couldn't vote because
you said that you voted in the last election. That's exactly what I just asked you.
I thought you said could you? No. I could vote, but I couldn't because I am not in I'm originally from I go to a different state for college, and I couldn't vote in that state, and I couldn't go back home to vote. So I actually to be honest, I don't know how to do that. How to do all the mail-in ballots and all that stuff.
All right, okay. So assuming that you could have voted, who
Trump.
would you have? Yeah, all right, okay. Well, that's surprising. Literally, absolutely nobody.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, so why did you vote? Why would you have voted for Trump? What policy position did he run on this time that persuaded you to vote for him?
I would probably say cost of living, and then I would probably say all the wars and immigration.
Cost of living, okay. He has done literally nothing about that. He didn't even have a policy position about cost of living going into it. No new wars is not a policy position. That's a I guess maybe a moral one, but he's also now threatened war with war, but he hasn't excluded the forceful kind of takeover of the Panama Canal, of Greenland. He says he wants to buy Gaza. He said he wants to invade Canada and make it the 51st state. He's man. This guy cannot wait to get into war. Cannot wait for it.
I'm more so talking about the end of the Russia-Ukraine war, which actually, if you saw, there's a 30-day ceasefire that I think Russia still needs to. That's the last thing I did see on the news, but I think Russia still needs to agree. Zelensky's promise to sign it, and so I do think when it comes to the war with Russia and Ukraine, I think that he'll do a good job. I think that he's already doing good with that. And then when it comes to the cost of living, cost of living, it is still up because of a lot of stuff, but it's going down a little bit.
Okay, so what is the policy that Trump influenced to get passed since the 20th of January that would affect the cost of living?
Well, I mean, I don't know if there was a policy, but he's definitely
Well, you said that he ran on a policy to affect the cost of living, so he surely should
have
a policy, right? Yeah, I did.
You didn't. You asked me for.
That's what led us into this exact conversation right now.
You said, "Why did I vote for Trump?" Or why would I have?
And I asked you what policies that Trump talked about on the campaign trail that convinced you to vote, that convinced you to, if you could have voted for him in the previous election. That's what I asked you, and you brought up the cost of living and two other things. And I have now asked you about the policy that he influenced to get passed that directly affected the cost of living, and you have now said that there is no policy. Once again, I have about 50 combined people that can fact check you on the spot right now. Do you really want to play this game?
Bro, are you getting so mad? It's not your country.
It's not my country, but this shit affects the entire fucking world, and do not even think for a second that it doesn't.
Because my family who are literally, I have family in Ireland, they said that their life,
Listen,
their lives aren't getting that.
What the day-to-day life of somebody in Ireland right now, Donald Trump is not affecting. However, if he continues with this tariff nonsense, if he continues fucking bolstering wars throughout the entire fucking world, then Ireland is absolutely getting drafted into it. Ireland has just, this is in only in the last week, we have the first fighter jet of our entire country's history, and we have been promised 4 more. This shit does not happen overnight. This shit does not happen just on a fucking oopsie daisy or on a preemptive thing. We don't spend billions of fucking euros in investing in all of this shit just as a fucking maybe. This is preemptive shit. So don't tell me that this shit is not affecting people in every other country across the entire world. Don't even begin to say that shit, because it's just not true.
I can say it because it is true, because that's what my own family have said, who live in.
I don't care what your family have said.
So
The
it's just what
facts,
you say.
No, because the facts and stats say otherwise, and that's what I care about. I don't care about what some fucking anecdotal piece of fucking bullshit that you're going to bring up here. I do not care. I care about facts, I care about the stats, and I care about the reasoning. That's it. That's all I fucking care about. You don't. You care about your fifis.
My what?
Your fifis. Your fee-wings.
Nah, I care a lot more than I care a lot of stuff.
Yeah, all right, okay, yeah, I'm sure you do. Listen, you have been on here now for 26 minutes and 30 seconds, which I would argue is about 26 minutes and 25 seconds too long. So I'm going to move on to the next guest, considering this is getting absolutely fucking nowhere, and this is like arguing against a brick wall.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'll talk to you again.
You too. Much love.
How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
pronouns. My name is Jonathan. My name on TikTok there is Jono. I'm pretty clearly a guy.
Okay, what's your pronouns?
Him.
Okay, what do you disagree with on the board?
Let me have a look. So, Donald will ruin the US. Elon did that too. Right. So, first of all, I just want to ask you a quick question. When you see what's going on with Trump, I know you're Irish yourself, I'm Irish as well. When you see what's going on with Trump and the likes of that and what's going on in the world, do you truly believe that decides what exactly goes on in America? Do you truly believe
about
that
half of what you said there? You went quiet. Do I truly believe
truly believe that Trump decides exactly what goes on in America? Do you truly believe that governments are the ones who are in control of this world? And do you believe that these agendas? So you were debating right here
so
with,
if
say,
it's
transgenders.
if it's
transgenders and the
not
likes of that.
if it's not Trump that is in charge of the US, then who is?
Okay. So do you know the name of the families that run the banking systems in the world?
I'm not into conspiracies. This is a waste of time. Fucking conspiracies. If it's like Jesus Christ, then why not just say that it was a fucking... Oh my god. I literally I can't deal with fucking conspiracy theories. I just can't deal with it. Well, what if it's this person running the world? What if it's this person running the world? Yeah, what if I fucking suddenly sprout a tentacle out of the back of my fucking kneecap? I don't care about what ifs. I care about the fucking... Okay, so this person is not coming up. How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
You can call me Mama. I am 47 and she, her.
Okay, what do you disagree with on the board?
I don't disagree with anything on the board. I had requested up when PO was discussing abortion. So that's why I wanted to be a female voice, somebody who has actually had a child grow in them.
Yeah. No, look, I do understand exactly. Like, I have pro-choice there because, you know, it's something that I do kind of fundamentally believe in. It's something like it's a right that every person who has the capacity for pregnancy should have. It's something that I just fundamentally believe in. I do understand that there's like... There's a certain kind of thing around when, like, specifically just men are talking about abortion. I understand the kind of criticisms of, you know, well, I can't get pregnant, so, you know, I mean, like, what kind of, like, you know, possibly can I bring to the conversation? I understand that. I genuinely do. It's just that, yeah, like, look, I don't know. I think, like, kind of getting from a certain viewpoint, kind of taking that, not necessarily bias, but taking that kind of attachment away from it just, yeah, I don't know. I understand.
Don't have, I'm just going to say, men don't have the emotional connection to what happens to a woman's body.
Yeah.
And so I see where we do have allies, and I appreciate that. I truly do. But there's others that just don't see it. They don't understand anything about the female body, especially the reproductive.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, like, genuinely, like, I've seen debates where people are talking about abortion, and it's a guy kind of arguing against it. And I mean, like, they've like asked him like how many holes a woman has down there, and they answer incorrectly, right? Because they like literally they just know nothing about the female anatomy. I mean, it's fucking embarrassing. This shit is literally embarrassing. Like, you know, it's crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah.
You can go ahead and drop me down and get more MAGA up if you want. That's the only reason I had requested up.
That's no problem at all. Look, thank you so much for popping up. Yeah.
No problem. Thanks.
No problem. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
You too.
How you doing? What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Hi, my name is David, and I'm 25 years old, and he, him.
Okay. What do you disagree with on the board?
Trans men/women are men/women.
Okay. Why so?
So I just believe that there are only two sexes. Do you agree?
No.
Why so?
Sex is not a strict binary. You can have people who are intersex. You can have people who are born with XXY or XYX or XXXY or XXYY or any other, like, there are about I think there's genuinely at least 20 other kind of combinations of them. So sex is not a strict binary. It's more of a binary than gender is, 100%, but it's not a strict binary.
Okay.
And if somebody... There's at least two.
Okay, so what do you call somebody who is XXY?
Would depend on what their phenotypic expression is.
Okay, let's say they're XXY and they have a vagina and a uterus. What would you say they are?
Then I'd probably go with woman. If
Okay,
that's what
so-
I mean, if that's what they identify with, then I would go with that.
Does what they identify as really matter?
Yep.
Why so? So do you believe if I identify as something else that I'm not biologically, then I'm incorrect? My apologies. If I identify as something that my biological characteristics disprove of, am I correct by saying whatever I identify as, or am I incorrect due to whatever my biological characteristics state?
No, you would be correct in identifying what you feel.
Okay, so if I feel like a certain way or something, then that's what I am.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. I mean, if you feel happy, are you happy?
It depends, because you could lie to yourself. The brain is a very complex thing. So you could say that you're happy.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
also-
not what I asked you. What I asked you was, if you feel happy, are you happy?
If I feel, yes, but you can feel
Okay,
different
well
things.
then, if you feel like you're a woman, are you a woman?
No.
Why not? You were right
Because
in one sense and you were wrong in the other sense. So what's the
well,
difference?
I disagree, sir, because your biological characteristics do not change. It's your DNA. You can change your gender, sure. I don't really give a fuck what you identify as, but your sex is the same. You can't not change your chromosomes. You have the
I
X, Y
completely agree
chromosomes.
with
you
you.
have the X.
I completely agree with you.
So me myself, I have I have an XY chromosome. Okay, so if I identify as a female, does that mean that I am a female?
No, if you wouldn't identify as a female. No trans person would say that they are a female. They would say that they are a woman. There is a difference. So male and female are sex terms. That is to do with your sex, and man and woman are gendered terms. And considering that you said that you don't really care, I don't actually think that you disagree with me.
I do. So you think that, as you said, a female and a woman are different things, correct?
Yes.
How so? What is the difference between a female and a woman?
Well, a female would be with your kind of sex organs. It would be with your chromosomes. It would be with like very kind of like almost kind of strict solidified stuff. Your gender is that I mean, like that is a social expression.
Hmm. But if I identify as a woman, is that correct? Can I identify as a woman?
Sure, go for it. I'm not going to stop
Can
you.
I identify as a female?
No,
I can't identify as a female. Why not?
because you can't identify as something that you are biologically not. In the
Okay,
same
so
way as that you
therefore
can't, in the same way as that you can't identify as a cat because you are not biologically a cat.
I absolutely agree. We agree on something. Okay, so if I am biologically a female and I identify as a man, am I a man?
Yes.
I am a man.
Yes.
But my biological characteristics disprove of that statement.
No, they don't. Sex and gender are two completely different things.
I agree. But my
Well,
sex,
then
I
why
am
do you
identify
then
as
why
a
do you
woman.
disagree with what I've? Then why do you disagree that trans men are not men? If you've already acknowledged that sex and gender are two completely different things, then why on earth would you disagree with that?
Because I believe that if you have your set chromosomes, you cannot identify as a different sex or gender.
But you've already acknowledged that sex and gender are two different things. So if you
Yes.
were born biologically male, then yes, we agree that you cannot identify as biologically female. That point is parked. That's gone. It's moot.
Yes.
But you've acknowledged that there is a difference between sex and gender. So why can you not identify as a different gender?
Because your gender is a social construct which anybody can create.
Yes,
Anybody
exactly.
has the
It's a social
create a
construct.
gender.
It's made up.
Exactly. So if
So
I
then why can
identify
you
as
not
a cat,
identify?
it doesn't. Because if I identify as a cat, it doesn't mean that I'm a cat. I just identify as a cat.
No, you can't identify as a cat because that is going
Why?
against something
Because
that
it's
you are
it's a
biologically
social
not.
construct and it doesn't exist. You disagreed.
Because
Incorrect?
cat is not a gender.
But
Me and
you
you
just
are
said it's
not
made up. Why
pronouns.
just made
Like
it up?
I don't know what we're even talking about here. Me and yeah were not pronouns.
Who decides what our pronouns are? Or who decides what genders are?
Fucking English, the basic English language does.
Well, I don't think that when English was created, they had these issues with trans men and trans women identifying as something that they're not, in my opinion.
Trans people have existed about as long as history has, about as long as recorded history has, anyway. So this is absolutely not a new phenomena. The first sex reassignment surgery was done in I think it was the 60s. This is not new. This is not new.
It's not new, but English wasn't originated in the 60s, sir.
Yes, I know that it was originated long before that, but as I said,
Exactly.
trans people have existed for longer than the English language has. So the English language was created to reflect the reality that it is not simply a that it is not a male female, or that it is not a man woman binary.
Okay. So do you think in 10 AD people were transitioning and identifying as different sexes or genders, as I should say, back then? Do you think there were these issues?
Yeah. Are you aware of the Roman Empire and of the Greek Empire?
Yes, I know that wasn't 10 AD.
Okay, so so if you're aware of those things, are you seriously now asking me, or people were people identifying as a different gender back then, and were taking up the social roles of a different gender back then? Really?
The premise of the conversation was about the inception of the English language and when it was created. And then we're also relating it back to
but then you shifted the goalposts to 10 AD when the English language was a pipe dream.
Okay.
Okay, so don't shift the goalposts and then complain at me that we're after changing topics. You changed the topics.
I wasn't complaining. I was just saying what the premise of the conversation was. So what I was saying was that I believe that when the English language was created, that we didn't have these issues where men were pretending and identifying as women. If that makes sense to you, sir.
What? What?
I
Say
said
that entirely
that
again.
okay. I don't think that when the English language was created, as you said, so you said since the English language was created, I said, I don't believe since the English language was created, we had issues where men were pretending and identifying as women.
Well, if that is your stance, you would just be factually incorrect.
I would be incorrect.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. That's very interesting. So you think all those thousands of years ago?
Yeah. Have you not heard of Shakespeare?
I have heard of Shakespeare, yes.
Okay. Did you know that when he was alive and when his plays were going on, that men were taking up the female leads?
Okay.
Okay. So the idea that men were dressing up and pretending, was not happening back then. And,
Yes,
and
but-
you've just acknowledged now that men were pretending to be women, which is not
Yes,
at all a
but
trans woman. That is,
you-
they are
you were
completely and
saying-
utterly different things.
Yes, but I'm talking about your point, sir. Your point was when the English language was created, so the inception of the English language. You're
Right.
referring to
So-
William Shakespeare, which was around the
Yeah.
16th century, sir.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
about
yeah,
1600
absolutely.
years after.
So, 1600 years after what? Do you think that the English
After-
language was made in 0 AD?
No, I mean AD. I'm just referring to AD.
Right. No. Okay. So you said that Shakespeare in the 1600s was talking about this stuff, but the English language was created 1600 years before that. So you're saying that
No.
the English language was created in 0 AD.
No, that was just me referring to AD, but the English language was created in the 5th century AD.
Okay.
Which is quite
So-
different from the 16th century.
What? Yeah. Okay. So they and them were used to refer to a singular person, even when the English language was created.
Mm-hmm.
So in what way is this not just simply following the English language as it was created?
It's to do with the English language, but I was saying back then when the English language was created, they didn't have those types of issues. They didn't have people identifying as different things and they're not.
But they did. I'm sorry, you're just historically ignorant.
I'm historically ignorant.
Yes.
Right.
Because they did have trans people way back then. Trans people have been around, or some kind of variation of trans people have been around since before Christ walked on earth.
It says that the first ever person who was transgender was a transgender woman in 1931.
Well, yeah, so that would be that's the first modern version of it. You need to go back a hell of a lot further than that. They were men taking up women's roles in ancient Rome, as you have already agreed, was way the fuck before 1930.
Okay, so
I think you said that you were familiar with ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Yeah, that's probably what that is. So you said that to me that you were familiar with ancient Greece and ancient Rome, and you are now saying that this isn't that when the English language was invented, that the trans stuff wasn't happening. Those two things cannot be true at the same time.
Okay. Well, okay. Why?
Because if you were familiar with ancient Greece and ancient Rome, you would know that trans people, or men taking up female roles in society, was happening then. So therefore, when the English language was created after ancient Greece and ancient Rome, then the trans stuff was happening.
Okay. That could be due to societal norms, as of course things have changed. And now we see the entire system going back to those types of roles where we see men acting out as the traditional people would say female roles, as due to what society and the government and everything has been doing, as they've been increasing prices and forcing two people to get out of their homes. So then the woman is no longer at home and the man cannot just provide for the household. So now that is due, in my opinion, when we look at facts due to societal norms. So obviously back then it was
That would
like that.
absolutely
when men
not
would be
due to
taking up
societal
female-
norms. That would be due to like purely financial reasons.
Financial reasons.
Financial reasons. Yep.
That's exactly what I said with the government.
Well, yeah, so that would not be social norms shifting to like fucking allow women into men's spaces, or to allow women to go back to work, or to allow like any of that sort of stuff. There's nothing to do with it at all
The
whatsoever.
social norms would be back then. So as in like men taking up as what we would call female roles nowadays. That would be a social norm back then. It would have been normal back then.
Back when?
Back in the dates that you're referring to with the Romans and the Greeks.
Right. So what point do you think you're making?
As in, that has nothing to do with transgenderism. That has something to do with social norms.
What? Yes, and what would a trans person do now? They would phenotypically express as so a trans woman would phenotypically express as a woman, and they would change their social roles to express as a woman. And you have said in ancient Greece that there was men who would take up the female roles.
Yes.
So this is a 1-to-1.
Okay. So what you refer to as a gender action or a gender job or industry is totally up to you. Okay? If a man decides to be a hairstylist or a makeup artist, that doesn't mean he's transgender. That just means
but
that
it would be going against the traditional social norms.
That would be going against social norms, sir, which is exactly what we're talking about. So that doesn't mean that somebody is transgender because they're doing things that the typical gender.
I never said it was. Literally never said it was.
So it has nothing to do with being transgender.
I've now say a third time. I literally never said it was.
Okay, so what are you saying then?
Simply because a cisgender man, is a hairdresser does not mean that he's trans, and I never said that he was. I never said otherwise.
Yes, but we're discussing how if men were to do female roles back in, as we know as female roles back in the Roman and Greek times that you're referring to, then that wouldn't be somebody.
When there was a strict gender binary, you mean?
Sorry, I don't speak well.
So you're telling me that in ancient Greece and in ancient Rome there was a loosey-goosey gender binary, just completely and utterly just do whatever you want.
What I'm saying is when you're referring to the Greeks.
I am so sorry, dude. I have literally no idea what point you think you're trying to make. I swear to Christ,
Your point about the Roman and Greek times was when men were taking up female roles and with what they were doing. And I said, is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And I said that has nothing to do with transgenderism. That has something to do with societal norms.
Okay, the point is that trans people have been around for almost as long as human history has been around. So the idea that this is a new thing is just simply not true. The idea that the English language
I never said it was a new thing, sir. I just said when the English language was created, we didn't. No, don't tell me to shush. No, have some respect.
Shush.
I respected you.
Shush.
You respect me.
Shush.
I respected you. You respect me.
Shush.
So you can boss some people around. No, look. So
bye. You don't shut the fuck up and let me talk on my live, you get the fuck out of here. Simple as. Simple as. So the idea that trans people have been around for as long as history has, the idea then that the English language was not invented to reflect the fact that trans people have been around. That's the point that I think I have genuinely, I swear to Christ, in all of the fucking years that I have been doing this, I have zero idea what point he thought he was trying to make. I have just absolutely no fucking idea. So there is someone that has just asked to let you up. You are literally not in the queue, so I don't know what you want me to do about that. However, having said that, I am in work tomorrow, guys. So I will be leaving it there. It's a little bit late here now. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Yeah, no, look at this. We are now after getting to 26,000 likes. This is fucking insane. You know, that's a new record for the channel. Everything else, you say you've been waiting for over an hour, and please, I'm sorry, man. It's just as simple as that. I have work in the morning. That is way more important than any other live that I am going to do. I do these lives a few times a week. You can pop back into the next one, and we can do it that way. Thank you so much. Yeah, oh my god, there has been a record number of gifts that have been sent. I genuinely thank you so much to each and every person. I have never asked for people to send a gift. I never will ask for people to send a gift. It is entirely optional. It's entirely up to you. So I genuinely thank you so much for that. We're at 26,000 likes, which is a record for the live streams. Genuinely, I don't know what to do with you all. We have so much of a little kind of community that we're building here and everything else. It's growing day by day. There's been 16 people who have followed me since the live started. This is just absolutely fucking incredible. The trolls are going down as the more streams that we do, because they're all getting blocked and this all just wastes time for them. So anyway, I have a couple of bits of homework to do after the live ends. I'm going to go back and see if that other guy actually did use a slur or not. The once previous mod who had sent me gifts, which is just kind of strange, it turned out to be a troll. That's a little bit kind of just odd. So listen, anyway, the next live that I am going to be doing is going to be Saturday night. So yeah, we are going to be going back live then on Saturday night, and we'll have a bunch more kind of conversations. I'll be able to stream for a little bit longer on Saturday because I am off work on Sunday, so we'll be able to stream for about another 2 hours or so. Anyway, thank you so much to absolutely anybody who has showed up, who has liked the live, who has donated, all of that sort of good stuff. I love you all dearly, and I shall talk to you on Saturday night. Okay, so now we're over onto the YouTube side of it. Genuinely, YouTube comments, I haven't been ignoring you. I have looked at every single one of you. Blaster, you have been fucking hilarious the entire time. So there was a couple of times there in the live chat where I had seen a couple of your comments. I almost broke. I didn't, but I almost broke. So that's just hilarious. Yeah, look, absolutely. Each and every single one of you, I love you all dearly. As I said, Saturday night, I will be streaming again. So, until then, like, subscribe, do all of that YouTuber bollocks. I shall talk to you in the next one.